How many times are Democrats going to come down to the hood and pretend that they're going to do something and disappear for the next 3.5 years and then show back up like, hey, remember me? I'm so sick of this. It's the same thing over and over again, and everybody's pretending like we don't see it.
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, but I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
Because?
Because it has to change. It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So,
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I'm like Trump saying, you know, what are you, you know? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
This is incredible. Lemon is reporting some facts for the first time in his life. But hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise. And you know we got to talk about it, man. So Don Lemon, or Don Lemon, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I think it is Don Lemon, is fresh off his stint as a CNN host and now a disgraced online journalist, decided to step outside of his liberal bubble and do some real investigative journalism. You know, talking to actual voters. And let me tell you, the results were nothing short of hilarious. Poor Don got a bit of a reality check while traveling through deep blue cities like Atlantic City, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. And man, he was in for a surprise. Apparently, Don was shocked to find out that a lot of people, including women and people of color, black folks that is, are planning to vote for Trump. Yes, you heard that right. Trump in deep blue cities. The left is in trouble. Don was so stunned that he had to share his revelation with MSNBC's Jen Psaki, who, by the way, didn't seem too thrilled with the news either. But again, she also lives in a blue no matter who echo chamber. She doesn't speak to real people. She doesn't get out there and speak to the voters. So she really doesn't know what we actually think out here for real. And as much as they want to talk about people of color, they don't know black people. They aren't around black people like that, other than those that are in that MSDNC echo chamber that they work in. In a recent interview with former Biden White House Secretary, Don basically admitted that he was shocked by how many people he encountered who were leaning towards Trump. And they're not just leaning. They told that dude flat out, we are supporting Trump. So yes, Don, that is exactly what happens when you leave your little liberal bubble and go out there in the streets and talk to real people. This is incredible. Check this out.
You meet a lot of people.
Good.
What are some of the things or trends that surprised you about some of those conversations?
Well, I don't know if it was surprising, but it was certainly eye-opening to hear so many people, even people of color and women, saying that they are going to support Donald Trump. I'm not quite sure that the polls are accurate as it relates to the tightening of the polls and who's going to support whom. There were a lot of black men, Jen, who said that they were supporting Donald Trump simply because he gave them a stimulus check. He gave them $1,200 back when he was president. They did not somehow remember that the current president also gave them a stimulus check, except that his name wasn't on it. So I had to remind them time after time that the check did not come from Donald Trump, that it came from a Democratic Congress. I think that they thought that he's better for the economy, and that, again, that he gave them, that he brought money into the community, and that, or that he was on black people's side. And so, listen, I wasn't surprised by that. I've been doing this long enough to know that you never know where people are going to fall, how they're going to vote. That's their own personal prerogative. But I think it's important for them to understand and to go into the voting booth with some knowledge, that they're informed as an electorate. And for all the reasons that they were telling me, the information was all false.
Yeah. She was so visibly upset. Did you see the blank look on her face? Did you see it? Oh my goodness, man. I mean, this was eye-opening for them because they don't live in a place where they actually speak to real people. And Don Lemon was very disingenuous there because a lot of those folks didn't say anything about a stimulus check. Now, maybe they said it off camera, but a lot of folks were saying the economy was so much better under President Donald Trump's administration. And they know it's true. This election, it's not about the foolishness. It's about this economy. Everybody is hurting right now. These people live in bubbles, man. So when you live in a bubble where everyone around you thinks the same way, it's a bit of a culture shock when you realize not everyone is drinking the same Kool-Aid as you. I just love how he tried to correct these voters, though. Bless his heart. Bless him. But telling them that they were wrong to think that the economy was better under Trump. I mean, come on, man. I can't even believe that he believes that. But these folks were not having it. They just wasn't. They remember having more money in their pockets, and they're not about to let some talking head tell them that they are misinformed because they're the ones that are making these tough decisions on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. They are. We are. And then there's the whole Kamala Harris situation. Don was stunned to hear that voters aren't exactly her biggest fans either. But here's where it gets even funnier. Don Lemon claims that these voters just didn't know Kamala Harris. He says that they need to be informed about who she is. Well, Don, guess what? They do know who she is. We know who she is, and they don't like her. They think she's fake. They think she's phony. They think she's not genuine. They're not uninformed. These people are not uninformed. They're just not buying what Kamala's selling. But of course, in Don Lemon's mind, if you don't like Kamala Harris, you must be ignorant. So, I mean, this guy is so condescending. He's pretending like he's talking to a bunch of children who just don't know what's good for them. But that's what Democrats do, especially when it comes to black folks. They think they know better. Let's just pause for a second and appreciate the absurdity here. Don Lemon, who has spent his career in a bubble where everyone agrees with him, thought he could just waltz into these cities, into these neighborhoods, and enlighten the masses. Did he really think that people were going to have a light bulb moment and go off and say, you know what, Don, you're right. You're right. I need to, not remember or believe that my bank account is light right now. I don't need to believe that I got laid off from my position and the only jobs that I can find out there pay half of what I was previously making. I don't need to remember that. Don, you're right. I forgot how wonderful things are now that I can barely afford groceries. Thank you for reminding me. It's almost cute how out of touch he is, though. He's living in this alternate reality where if you're not glued to MSDNC or the New York Times or CNN, you must be completely clueless. But here's the thing. These voters aren't uninformed. They're living in the real world, dealing with real problems. They vote with their wallets because guess what? That's what actually matters to them. That's what matters to all of us. And while Don might be confused by this, the reality is that when it comes to the economy, people remember who was in charge when things felt a whole heck of a lot better for them and who's in charge right now. A lot of folks are thinking back to that Trump administration, and a lot of folks are kicking themselves for voting for Joe Biden, voting against their own interests right now, because things were a whole heck of a lot better, and they allowed the mainstream media to paint this picture that Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, he's racist, so forth and so on, when we were living in one of the greatest economies that this country has ever seen. And it's for daggone sure the greatest economy that I had seen since I've been an adult. But I don't know, guys, does anyone find this insulting? Acting like these voters, especially black and minority voters, are too dumb to understand what's happening in their own lives. He actually says it's important for them to understand the so-called facts he's trying to shove down folks' throat. Like, come on, bruh. Really? Who made you the gatekeeper of the truth? These are grown adults who know exactly what's going on. They're living through the mess that's been created under the Biden and Harris administration, and they don't need Don Lemon or any other left-leaning, liberal, wealthy elite individual coming to them in their city telling them what they're actually going through right now isn't real. But Don Lemon just can't wrap his head around that, though. He's sitting there acting like he's the wise old sage, trying to educate these voters on why they should love Kamala and Biden. It's just this black bourgeoisie elitist mindset that drives me absolutely mad. It's people like him, the Roland Martins, and a whole host of others out there that think that just because someone isn't parroting their liberal talking points, they must be uneducated or ignorant. I mean, it's flat out ridiculous, man. It really is. What Don and his liberal buddies don't get is that people are making decisions based on their own experiences, real everyday struggles. They see the gas prices. They're through the roof right now. They see the grocery bills. It's skyrocketing right now. And they remember a time not too long ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago, when things were a whole heck of a lot better. But of course, in Don's world, if you're not supporting Kamala Harris and Biden, if you're not voting blue no matter who, it must be because you're not informed enough. It couldn't possibly be because you've made a rational decision based on what's actually happening in your own life. No. In Don's mind, you just haven't been properly educated. It's insulting. They think that minority voters are too dumb to see the truth, when in reality, it's folks like Don who are living in a bubble, completely out of touch with the real world. And the brother last week that I presented, he had the do-rag on, he was sitting in his car, he said it, and I couldn't say it any better. The people that are doing the research, the people that really understand what's going on right now in this political race and in this economy and in today's America, they are the people that are running, sprinting away from Kamala Harris and the Biden administration. They're chucking the deuces at these folks. So Don Lemon, he can keep these whack talking points and he can keep talking down to people, acting like he's the all-knowing guru who's here to enlighten the masses. But out here in the real world, people know what's up. They see through the BS, and they're making their choices based on what actually matters to them, not on what Don Lemon or anyone else tries to tell them. So come election time, these voters are going to prove that they're not as dumb as Don thinks they are. They know what they want, and they're not afraid to go after it, no matter how much the elites try to tell them otherwise. And that, my friends, is something that Don Lemon just can't seem to understand. But this also might confirm what we've known all along. Kamala's so-called popularity is nothing but smoke and mirrors. If even black voters who are supposed to be her strongest base don't know who she is, then it's clear her surge is completely fabricated by the media. And Trump, on the other hand, has a real track record that people actually remember. And especially when it comes to the economy, the fact that more and more voters are recognizing that this is a huge wake-up call for the Democrats. You can't fake genuine support, and Kamala's lack of it is becoming impossible to hide. Check this out.
Who wants to talk about politics? Do you know who you're going to vote for in November?
Donald Trump.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because he's our best choice.
Some people don't like it, but I think he's a smart businessman. You know, someone call him an a-hole, but I think he's an excellent a-hole.
Hold it out!
Go! Trump real, bro. He don't care what you think about him. He gonna speak his opinion. He gonna tell you what it is.
Let me get one. Hey, come on, I don't. Who are you gonna vote for?
I ain't voting for nobody.
Yeah, I ain't voting for nobody.
No, I ain't voting.
You're not gonna vote at all?
No, I ain't voting.
But what do you think about these guys saying they're not gonna vote?
They got to know their vote count.
It do matter though.
I just don't believe in both candidates. I don't believe in.
I really don't believe in them strong enough to vote. That's what I'm saying.
Do you agree? Trump again?
With Trump and who running?
Huh?
Who's running?
Trump
and who?
And Kamala Harris, because Biden stepped aside.
Oh, Biden stepped out?
Yeah, he stepped out.
Probably Trump. Yeah, I'll probably go with Trump. I seen a lot of tax breaks, and just ultimately, my company was running better when he was in office.
Definitely not Trump. No offense.
Not Trump.
Not Trump. So I'll probably go. Who's running?
Well, Biden stepped aside. Kamala Harris, the vice president.
Yeah, I'm with Kamala Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, so You seen that, you heard that. Hey, for the most part, we're all sick and tired of being told who to vote for. For decades, the Democrats have taken minority communities, black communities for granted, assuming our votes are in the bag. But what have they actually done for the black community? They're quick to hand out free stuff to illegal immigrants. But what about the issues that really matter in our community? What about jobs, safety, and education? These are the same people, that want to lock you into poor and underperforming schools. These are the people that want to defund the police in some of the most dangerous places in the country. Really? What are they really doing to the black community for real? It's almost like they are trying to make sure that black people become extinct in this country based off of their policies, when they definitely would prefer for us to stay a permanent underclass in this country. That's their preference. So we don't get a whole lot from these guys, to be honest with you. And all we do get is empty promises and the same old tired rhetoric. The Democrats have been using us as pawns, thinking that they can just wave around the idea of identity politics and we'll just fall in line. But guess what? People are waking up. We're not going to be manipulated into voting for someone just because of the color of their skin or their gender. We're voting based on who actually can deliver results. And right now, a lot of folks are looking at Trump and saying, you know what? He did more for the American people than any Democrat in recent memory. But let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Consider joining the ARP family. It supports me, the team, the channel, gives us the ability to do what we do on a day-to-day basis. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.